The time is now. Let everyone in the listening audience grab their scriptures, a pencil, and a piece of paper. Listen and learn the true meaning of the Old and New Testaments of the Bible, the Psalms of David, the Lost Books, and the Holy Quran. There are no more secrets. All false things will perish. So come and learn the undisputable teachings of the only man that has the answers to the problems of a troubled world, As-Sayyid Al-Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi.
نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله والي الكريم وصلى الله على أنبياء أجمعين والمسيح والمهدي والمجدد لمن مرسلين. Are we not the bearers of witness that nothing would exist if Allah didn't create it, and that He is alone and has no part, and that all gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sustainer of all the boundless universe. All gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the generous, eternal friend. And send salutations of Allah on all of His prophets and His apostles, and on the Messiah, the anointed one, and on the Mahdi, the guide, and on the Mujaddid, the reformer, which was all sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We send greetings throughout the boundless universe to all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
And now, the true light, featuring As-Sayyid Al-Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi.
All right, I have a question. I've been here once before, and I wanted to know, wrote his book in the land of Ephesus, right? And I'm just wondering because Ephesus was a land full of Gentiles, and the only person that ever spoke about Jesus or anyone was somebody 40 years earlier, which was Paul. You see, the Ephesians wouldn't have had any knowledge if Paul hadn't gone to the land of Ephesus. My point is that it would be kind of strange, for John to go to a church that was started by such a liar or deceiver.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Bismillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. John answers the question in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. Open the Bible to John, chapter 1, verse 6 and 7, and read it. And John tells you why he was the one sent to clean up Paul's mess.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There was a man sent from Allah whose name was John. The same came for a witness,
Testified.
to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe.
He was not that light, 8, but was sent to testify of the light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.
This is John the Baptist, right?
No, this is John, son of Zebedee.
You're saying that verse 6 is talking about there was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for a witness. You're saying that John
is John, son of Zebedee. He's the one,
apostle.
The one they signal out in the book of Mark, chapter 1, verse 19, as the Apostle John. They tell you he was the Apostle John. He was the one sent in the year 98 to clean up, well, first 96, he got the book of Revelation, which sent so much confusion because people couldn't understand what the apocalypse meant, that he was given later in 98 the book of John, which was sent to clear up all the lies that Paul perpetrated against Christ. That's what John was sent for. John was raised, his sole purpose was to correct all the lies that Paul had taught and how Paul had perverted Jesus' teaching. That's why he sent John as a witness. Otherwise, see, here's a point in here. If people want to get, especially Christians, they want to get particular about it, it says in there that this man was sent to do what? The reason why you know this couldn't be John the Baptist is because John the Baptist was dead before this revelation.
Before this revelation?
Before this revelation was in the year 98.
Yeah, and this is...
Go ahead.
But this is John's, like it says, according to John, this is the gospel, and this gospel varies from the other 3 gospels, and it tells more about what Jesus did, the ministry of John the Baptist. It starts out telling more about John the Baptist, whereas, the other gospels just say, well, about this time John was in prison. But John's gospel, the Apostle John, picks up with the earlier part of the ministry. But that's why I know, and I think that verse 6 is talking about there was a man sent from God whose name was John. I look at it as John the Apostle.
Show me. If you look further into this quote, you'll find out that a reference is made to John the Baptist further in this quote. When you start around 21, it starts to talk about John the Baptist and starts making reference. And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elijah? And he said, I am not. Art thou a prophet? And he answered, no. This is reference here to John the Baptist. And in 33 they say, and I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water. The game is, the first part of this book is not John the Baptist. It's speaking about the John of the book of Revelations. Because the book of Revelations, chapter 1, tells you the revelations of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he, here's the word again, sent it and signified it by his angel through his servant John.
Yeah.
Right? Now, wait a minute. Now read number 2. Now, what John are we talking about here in the book of Revelations? John the Baptist again? Or John, son of Zebedee?
Revelation, that's talking about John, I believe John the Apostle.
John Zebedee. Now, watch what it says in number 2. Who what?
I'm trying to...
Oh, Revelation chapter 1, verse 2.
Oh, verse 2. Okay. All right, so now what's your question? What do you want to
read? Revelation chapter 1, verse 2.
Who bore witness to the word of God and to the testimony of Jesus Christ and to all things that he saw.
Now, this is the same exact statement as mentioned in St. John's chapter 1. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came to what? For a witness, to bear witness of the light. Now go back to Revelation chapter 1, verse 2. Who bore record of the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ. Right? Yes. And of all things. They use an exact terminology. What I think you're thinking is that John, because it says John here, that it's speaking about just the baptism. And it's not. The book changes. At one point, they're speaking about the Heavenly Father, where Christians think they're talking about Jesus, and they use the word, and they say that word represents Jesus. The reason why they say that is because they don't know none of the Semitic languages. They keep taking it back to the Greek, and the book was not revealed in the Greek. It was revealed in the Syriac language, and then passed into Aramaic, and then into Hebrew, and later into Greek. And the point is that if they looked at the word, they see that it has a feminine ending, kalimat. And that represents either a thing or a plural, but never a person. If it was referring to a man, it would be kalam, and the word kalam, an individual. So what I'm trying to say is this book of John, the Christians are confused because of the translation of it. They don't realize that grammatical changes in it in the Semitic languages tells you who it's talking about and when. In English, they don't see that. Unfortunately, they've been brainwashed to go back to the Greek for their translations when the Bible wasn't revealed in Greek. It was put into Greek. If they went back to the Hebrew or the Arabic of it, they'd find out that the word kalimat has a tarmabuta on the end, which is a feminine gender, and either represents a plural, in this case the word being Elohim, or the fact that Allah merely says to a thing, kun fayakun. When he created Jesus, he merely said be, and Jesus came into existence, and not Jesus himself. They don't realize that this verse is taking a change of personalities and places. They think it flows straight on in.
Well, I think that, I'm with the majority of the Christians. I do think that this was written in Greek. Well, maybe...
No, I'm sorry, son. The Christians do not say it was written in Greek. That's not what they think.
What, the New Testament?
Right, they don't think that. They think that the New Testament, listen to the word densmil. You hear the word densmil in here? They said a densmil. Jesus said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. These are words that are from another language. They are not Greek.
I know that.
So, okay, the point is that I'm trying to make, no, the Christians do not the Christian scholars, they do not agree that the Bible was in Greek. They agree that the Bible was translated into Greek as Jesus' teachers or disciples traveled around teaching. They agree that it went into Greek, but that the original language of it, you can ask any Jehovah's Witness, any Seventh-day Adventist, even Jimmy Swaggart, the father of the Pentecostal church in his books, tells you that the original text was revealed. They say Hebrew because they don't know that the Syriac Arabic and Hebrew and Aramaic are the same language, so they always just say Hebrew, and Hebrew just describes an event that Abraham did when he crossed the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. It was not the name of a language. It was an incident.
Okay, but there's still much division between the scholars on that, because some scholars just say, yeah, it was probably penned in Aramaic first because Jesus spoke Galilean Aramaic. But the proof in the pudding is that you got over 4,000 different ancient manuscripts or fragments in Greek, but you ain't got none in Aramaic.
That's not true. That's not true. What you're saying is not true. You don't know what you're saying.
Well, what's the oldest known manuscript that you know of?
Syriac Arabic is the oldest manuscript of Jesus' writings. The book of Revelation and the book of John are in Syriac Arabic. The only books that you have in Greek are the books of Paul. And even in Acts, when he speaks about speaking in tongues, if you go back to it, in Acts 2, you're going to see that he even there tells you that they're speaking in Arabic because he says in the language of the Galileans. And the Galileans were Arabs. They spoke Arabic and Hebrew, not Greek. He didn't say in the language of the people of Galatian. He said the Galileans, meaning people of Galilee, not the Galatians. What Paul did is play tricks with y'all on words and made y'all think at one point when he was saying Galileans that he was saying the Galatians of the Greeks.
Well, I understand what you're saying. It's just like if you're going to go to, if you're Spanish and you live in a Spanish neighborhood, when you talk to another Spanish person, you're going to speak in your native language. But when you're living in America, you learn English, and that's what you're going to do. The intellectual language at that time, the language, for the most part, was Greek. The Romans...
No, notice what you're saying, my son. Notice exactly what you're saying. You're saying the language of that time was Greek, spoken by Romans. Romans didn't speak Greek, they spoke Latin.
Yeah, and you know that the Latin language, I mean, they pretty much, once they got into Greek culture and understand, they looked at that language as the language of the intellectuals.
That's not the truth. That's the white man's indoctrination to keep y'all thinking that the Greeks and that knowledge that they stole from Egypt was really theirs. That's not true. Greek is not looked upon as an intellectual language except by the European nation. Arabic is looked upon as an intellectual language. Hebrew is looked upon as an intellectual language. Aramaic, cuneiform, and hieroglyphics to those people who study the scriptures. But those people who want to put people into a philosophical doctrine had to pull people out of the scriptural or the Semitic languages and take them into European dialects, which is Greek, French, and German. Latin in itself is an ancient language like Arabic. In format, and if you know Spanish, you'll know that the format of Spanish is very much like Arabic, not Greek at all. No, the Romans did not speak Greek. They spoke Latin. And Jesus and them spoke Aramaic and Hebrew and Syriac Arabic. Greek didn't get into way after. Greek was the language they used to alter the Bible from its original meanings. They was able to take words in Greek that they couldn't use in Hebrew. Let me give you an example. In St. John's chapter 1, verse 41, where they speak about Simon and them finding the Messiah and calling him the Christ. See, that only could be done in Greek, because in Arabic we'd have the word Messiah, from the word, we all get the word Messiah. Or in Hebrew we have Meshach, the same root word, to wipe something and make it clean or to anoint it pure. Now, what happened is, when the Greeks, they couldn't do that in Hebrew, because the translation would have been, we found Messihan, a Messiah, who's being translated El Messiah, the only Messiah. That's what he said. We found a Messiah, but they're saying it's the only Messiah. That didn't make sense for them. So what they did is added the word Christos in there, the Greek word for anointed, as they say. And then it changed from, we found the Messiah, who is being interpreted the Christ. See, they could only do that in Greek. They couldn't do it in Latin, and they couldn't do it in any of the Semitic language. The reason why they couldn't use Latin is because when you get to the word for soul and spirit in Latin, you have a problem with this Holy Ghost stuff. So they had to graft into Latin the Greek word for Holy Ghost, because in the Spanish language, the word soul and the word spirit is the same word. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow.
So what happened is they could only trick us by taking us away from the Semitic language, taking us away from the language that Jesus spoke himself, and putting us into the Greek language so that they could combine Greek philosophy like the very name Jesus.
Well, I'm sorry, I just have to go with the fact that whatever language you're speaking, he's saying that he's the Messiah, and when it's translated into Greek, it's the Christ. It means anointed, the same thing. You can say it's not my fault for, having this language and that language. You know, that started back there at the Tower of Babel with the confusion of tongues. So God intended, and he knew that everybody was going to have different languages. But look, we can all come together on that. I mean, you got the people who translated the Old Testament, the Jewish people who spoke Greek, they didn't
speak Greek. Stop saying
that. What do you mean
they
they didn't?
They spoke Hebrew.
How? I'm saying, yeah, they spoke Hebrew and they spoke Greek.
There is no such thing as a Greek translation of the Old Testament that the white man didn't make. The original Israelites kept the language in Hebrew. That's why the Jehovah's Witnesses have such a problem about the tetragrammar where they speak about Yahweh or Yahweh or Jehovah, because it was very important that they continue to speak the language of their fathers, which was ancient Hebrew. The Jews do not believe in praying in any other language except Hebrew.
I'm talking about during the time that Alexander came along and took over the
That
land.
was not Hebrew, that was Phoenician. That's when the children of Israel had lived in the Euphrates Valley and fell up under the Phoenicians. And Nebuchadnezzar and them only came to conquer them, to destroy the Torah so they can make a new Bible. And then after that, they rewrote the Bible, and ever since then, y'all have had a perverted version of the Bible. Except for the original text that was protected by a prophet called Israel in the Bible, who spoke Arabic, and it tells you in there lived in Arabian Peninsula, and he protected the original scripture of the Torah, and it fell in the hands of the Arab people. It never fell back in the hands of Israel. After they came out of bondage in 556 under Cyrus and Darius and went back to rebuild the temple, they never ever had the Torah in its pure form again. They only had it in the Arab world where it was protected by certain people who were Syriac Arabs who kept the original text pure, and it was passed to them by a prophet called Israel, who the Israelites wanted to call the Messiah.
So when did this corruption supposed to come about? At what time?
When Nebuchadnezzar, you know Cyrus and Darius?
Yeah.
When the children of Israel, in the books of Israel of the Bible, tells you all about the children of Israel leaving captivity under Babylon when Darius freed them from Cyrus. And Cyrus is a number of the Persian word for Christ. When you look it up, it's the same word for Christ, Cyrus. Freed them, and then a prophet named Haggai took them over to rebuild the Temple of Solomon. Nebuchadnezzar, who had persecuted the prophet Daniel, had already destroyed the scriptures and burnt them. And the only man who can preserve those scriptures is that one prophet called Israel. And the children of that same Israel is the one who kept the tablets pure. They're giving you poor information. They know what they're doing. They know they're messing with our heads. They're trying their best to keep us from knowing the truth about the Messiah Jesus. So they don't want us to acknowledge him as our Savior. They want us to make him a Greek God. When he was not a Greek God, he was a Messiah, the anointed Son of the Most High, sent into the world to remove sin from the world and to establish a kingdom of righteousness. The Messiah. That's what he was sent for, not to be a God. The Greeks want us to make him God. Let me just finish one thing. And that's why they created the word Jesus. The word Jesus is a fabrication of the word Jah, a perverted form of Yah from Yahweh or Yahweh, and the word Zeus. When they got to the Nicene Council, the second one, and they decided to take the name and form Jesus, so they can pull the god of Zeus. If you ever saw a picture of the god Zeus, you'd see that it's a picture of Jesus. The long hair, the long beard, and the robe. It's the exact same picture. When they combined the doctrine of the Romans and the Greeks, along with the Judaic teachings, then they came up with the name Jesus. And that became Jah and Zeus. The Roman god and the Hebraic god. And then Christos was from the Latin root into the Greek.
Okay, one more question. I see everybody got a lot of questions up here. Now, you know I believe that the Messiah was definitely crucified, no doubt about it.
No problem. Right.
And I base that on a lot of different things. Well, I want to know, do you reject history?
Not at all.
Are there such things to you as apostolic fathers? Do you trust their letters?
No, I don't.
You don't trust any of their history. In other words, you're saying that...
Then let me tell you what I'm saying, then you won't have to say what I'm saying.
I believe... know what I wanted to say, the rest of what I wanted to say.
I thought you was asking me a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know, do you think that all those people who died in the persecutions and whatnot, the 45,000 that were tortured, you think that these apostles came up and they just fabricated, they were cowards in the beginning. Now, granted, Christianity got, corrupted down the line, but I'm talking about that flock. There were how many people was it? There were thousands of people that heard the message.
Let me ask you the question. Let me answer the question. The first problem I have with that is, let me establish what I do believe in. I do believe in the apostle John, son of Zebedee.
Why not Peter? They were partners.
I'll tell you why. Because somewhere along the line, Peter listened to Paul and John broke away from him. That's right in the books of Galatians and Corinthians.
Well, Peter and Paul were partners, and they both read John's works and
but they departed because Peter preferred to follow. You know why Jesus called Peter Sophist?
Why he called him what?
Sophist. Meaning rock or stubborn.
Well, yeah, I personally know why. Because he was the spokesman for all the apostles. He was the one that the first one that ever went to a Gentile, which was Cornelius, and it wasn't Paul, it was Peter. Now, if Paul came and said he saw Jesus in a vision, well, Paul shouldn't have believed Peter because Peter said, I saw Jesus in a vision too. So you see, who would have believed
Now,
who?
let me ask you a question. If all these men saw Jesus in a vision,
yeah, all 12 and the 500 and the other.
Now, don't do that because if I go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 with you, I'll prove to you that they have a serious mistake here. Don't jump out too far. I'll do this also. I'll show you that they'll say 12 when it was only 11 because Judas is supposed to be dead. Then they say 500. Don't mess around and ask questions. Read you this gently.
He's talking about Corinthians. You're talking about Corinthians when he goes around. That's right. He's writing it around 47. And the reason why he said the 12, because the 12, the one that he included was Matthias. Because if you go back when they had to choose another apostle, they said we're only going to choose another apostle based on the fact that he had seen the Messiah before the crucifixion. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians. Paul just simply added the 12 because let's go to 1 Corinthians because it's going to change from the 12 back. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and let's see what happens. We're in verse 5, right?
That's right. No, what's going on? We're going to start. We're going to do it right.
You're going to go from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the easiest way?
Yeah, it's the easiest way. I agree with that.
Paul says, moreover, right?
Yeah.
Brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also you have received, and wherein you stand. First of all, and foremost, I am not interested, personally, in any doctrine that Paul teaches. I'm interested in a doctrine that Jesus received from the Father, not Paul. All right? Let's step on. I stand because Jesus said this. You cannot get to the Father but by me. He didn't say by Paul. So Paul is ego tripping, first of all.
But he just says he's preaching the gospel. See, the gospel is what
according to who? According to who?
He's preaching the gospel that he learned from Jesus. That's what he's saying.
He never met Jesus. Only thing Paul did is receive the vision, and when he received the vision, Jesus referred to him as Saul, and he called himself Paul. And he never got taught in that vision.
He never got what?
Taught any doctrine enough to write a scripture. He just saw Jesus in a vision, he said, on the roadside.
Oh, you mean because it's not included, then he didn't never get any more?
If God didn't say it, anybody who does got to be not trusted.
So that means that Paul lied about his vision, and then that guy, Ananias, which was the one that said that he came to get Paul and baptize Paul, so he lied because he said God came to him.
No, son. All those names you're mentioning are in Paul's books. Show me a book of Ananias where he wrote himself. Don't show me something Paul wrote to confirm his own lie.
Well, I can't write no book right now and say me and President Reagan was at a party last week.
You don't have to now. You can take a picture and prove it. It's a different day and time.
But what I'm saying, if I write something like that, without the proof, it's not going to be accepted.
And we're not supposed to accept you if you don't prove it, because Jesus said what?
Well, this book has been
around. Know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
But what I'm saying, this book has been around for, 2,000 years now. It's been accepted, it's been proven.
But it's the word of God. And Jesus said, not one jot nor one tittle shall be removed from it until the end of the world. So then if anybody removes anything from it, then their name is removed out of the book of life. So if Jesus made certain declarations that Paul didn't support on his own, then that's Paul's curse, not Jesus's. Go ahead.
So you think Paul then, on his own accord, Satan gave him...
Paul was an antichrist.
He was an antichrist.
That's right. His whole job as a Sanhedrin and a Pharisee was to pervert the teachings of Jesus and take them off the path of the Israelite teachings they were on and give them a newfound religion. The same way you have right here. And let me tell you something.
He did when he was
up until Martin Luther, all y'all were Catholics. Until Martin Luther and the Reformation period gave birth to all these new doctrines, y'all were considered that there was only one church,
Well, so I have to disagree, and the reason why I disagree with that, because John, in his epistle, he talks about the fact that even right now there are antichrists coming out, and there are people who came out...
It's about a letter, not a revelation. John is writing a letter to a woman, and he's writing a letter to 2 kids. He's not writing a revelation. I'm going to read the epistles of John.
I know that these letters are what I'm saying.
Don't quote a letter as if it's a divine revelation.
No, it's a fact that he's telling me that, listen, we know that there were people, and I want you to know that there are people who came and got baptized among us, but they were not from us, and they went out and they're the ones that polluted it. So it's not
about Paul. This is after Paul. He's talking about Paul. And if you do look at those books of John, you come to find out some things in there that Christians don't particularly like. And that is that in that letter of John, he knocks off that thing where y'all use that I'm in the Father and the Father is in me to make Jesus God, because he said lady. He said, we are all in the Father, and the Father is in all of us.
Yeah, all
God says, beloved, no man has seen the Father at any time.
Well, I said, yeah, in us, and when he says us, he's talking about those who are faithful to it, which are really Christians. And according to the Bible, the only way to be a Christian is to have the Holy Spirit of God in you.
No problem.
Don't have it, you ain't got it. So he says us, yeah, because Jesus
So
said.
there's no distinction between you being a son of God or God being in you than Jesus. According to John's letter. According to this letter, there's no difference. Yes or no?
I have to read it. I mean, I don't. I'm saying that.
He says the Father is in us.
Yeah.
Over and over in the letter of John, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, the Father is in him because Jesus told you, if you do what I say, you know, my Father will come back and he will be in you. He will put his Spirit in you and he will dwell with you. You and me, I and you and us.
He never said my Father would come back.
He never did.
He never said my Father,
John.
not my Father would come back. Let me hear that.
That's, I think it's in 17.
Now, but if you, while you're on this here for the congregation, if you look at the letter of 1 John chapter 5 and read the 18th verse, you'll see it says, and we know whoever is born of God sinneth not, but he that is begotten of God keepeth himself, and the wicked one toucheth him not. You follow? This is talking about the Antichrist. If you go down further, you're going to see how he eliminates what Christians have said. He's talking about idolism, people who worship idols. By the time you get to 21, when he tells his two little children who he's talking to, he says, little children, keep yourselves from idols. He's not talking about an Antichrist as a being. He's talking about statues that people worship, which is in the likeness of the Antichrist. He says, right at the 21st verse of the 5th chapter of the first book of John, the first letter of John, epistle, he says, little children, what? Keep yourselves from idols. Amen. He's not talking about men. He's talking about idols.
So, I mean, he's just instructing the church or
He's talking to two little kids. He's not talking to the church.
Okay. My point is this. You got Jesus, and you got him praying for you. You know, I hear sometimes, I heard on a couple of your tapes, where you always like to quote the fact that they say that Jesus was, Peter was going to deny Jesus 3 times. Well, yeah, that's true. He did say that, but, you know, he also said another thing. He said, you know, Peter, listen, yeah, I know that you're going to deny me 3 times, but look here, I'm going to pray to the Father, so when you get your strength back, now, he didn't say, if you get your strength back, then you strengthen the Father. Because, see, when you got him praying for you, like what he said, you got something real strong behind you.
No problem.
And he did get his strength back, and he strengthened his brother.
Can I establish a question here? Can I establish something?
John chapter 17 of John,
right.
That's the big main.
And 18 is going to get even better because Peter didn't even see Jesus during that time. So we'll go back to that. Peter never got in the room. When he got ready to go into the room, a girl came out to him and recognized him. He still went outside, so he never saw the trial of Jesus. He didn't know if it was Jesus or not. But the point is, you're doing a very good thing right now. You're making a very clear point for us Muslims. You know what that point is?
What is it?
You're separating Jesus from being his father. And that's a key point. That's very good.
I know a lot of people say, you know, they want to say that Jesus and God are the same, which in fact they are the same, but God is Jesus' father. But we as Christians believe that when Moses or when God...
Are you and your father the same?
Excuse me?
Are you and your father exactly the same?
Are me and my father the same?
Yes.
Exactly the same?
Yes.
Well, we're not exactly the same.
So
no,
is Jesus,
but I am part of him.
Jesus and his father exactly the same?
Not exactly the same.
Then they're two different things.
They are two different things.
All right,
but one
there's
is
a
the
difference
same.
between the Heavenly Father and the Son. We established they're two different things. They're not the same.
Well, the reason why I say that they're the same because the person that spoke to Moses, when Moses said to him, listen, who do I tell them that sent me? The person said, I am who I am. I look at that person as other Christians do to be Jesus. Because
that's a nice opinion.
No,
that's not true.
Listen, back in John, in the 8th chapter of John, when the Jews got ready to stone him, because he said, before Abraham was, I am. When he said I am, they identified that because they know Scripture, and they knew what he said back in Exodus.
Now go on, and let him tell them, when he go on that same chapter where Jesus tells them they are all gods too. He said, we wanted to stone. He said, for good work you don't stone me. But because I said you are God, you want to stone me. Don't stop. So that means we offer God, right? Because Jesus said so.
I'm talking about him saying and making a statement that before Abraham was living, I lived. Not I'm saying before Washington was living, I saw him.
That's not what he said.
What is he saying?
He's telling people right there, because those people said, you're not even 50 years old. Yet you're saying, you're not. You know what 50 represents?
Do I know what 50 represents?
Yes. Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know
What does
some
it
things
represent?
50 represent, but I mean,
What does it represent in that statement when the so-called Jews are saying to him, you're not even 50 years old yet?
oh, just simply to me, it just represents a number that they called off. You're
No,
not,
it doesn't
not
represent a
even 50
number
years
they call
old.
off. In Judaic teachings, a man has to be 52 years old before he's classified as an elder, a sheikh.
Well, what did Jesus want them to think he was elder? I mean, what are you saying?
Was Jesus one of the elders who was around the throne or not? They call him the Ancient of Days, don't they?
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Wouldn't the ancient mean elder? Yes or no?
yeah, but what does that have to do with them saying that,
That's
you're
a stat.
50, you're not 50 years old? They could have said you're not even 60 years old yet.
But because they were Jews, they knew what they were talking about when they said you're not 50. They were saying, you're saying you was before Abraham, and you're not even a chef yet. There's rituals in Judaism, son.
Okay,
where-
so
let me,
that
if you
still
want to
says
know-
the point.
Okay.
I mean, it still says it, doesn't it?
No, it says something different. You just don't know because you don't know Judaic teachings. There's, when a little boy gets circumcised, he's put on a chair of Elijah, and then he's considered Elijah. When the circumcision is complete, he's put on an altar, and a certain recitation of the Torah is written, and then he's considered Abraham. See, there's things that take place in the Judaic teachings that the Christians never picked up because they take the time to follow the teachings of the man that they're following. If y'all would follow the teachings that Jesus followed when he kept the Sabbath and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah,
Oh, you mean like the Christians did for the first 400 years after the crucifixion?
then why did y'all change?
Why did we change?
Yes.
Well, simply because, that's been prophesied throughout the whole thing. Paul
Where
says,
did Jesus say there's going to be a change?
well, he said number one in the 24th chapter of Matthew, he says, first of all, there are going to be many people who are going to come out and deceive you. They're going to say that I'm the Christ.
Jesus said,
Gives you all these things. And that's
where did he
exactly
say
what happened.
change? When he said that, son, he was talking about Christians. He was saying, many are going to come out and say, I am Christ. That people are going to confess to the world that he is Christ, but they're not going to really believe. So we acknowledge that Jimmy Swagger and a couple of other so-called Christian preachers who are out preaching saying, God talked to me, I spoke with Jesus, and was out fornicating and committing all kinds of sins. Doesn't this sound like what Jesus was talking about? Many people are going to come out in his name and deceive many. This is what we fear. Anybody that comes under the name Christian, we got to watch. Because Jesus never knew the name Christian. They first called them Christians in Antioch. Jesus never heard the name Christian. Jesus told them in St. John chapter 14, they're going to put you out of the synagogues. Not they're going to put you out of any churches. The only reference he makes to churches in the book of Revelations is in a bad connotation about the churches in the Isles of Greece where the angels were sent and they sinned all different kind of ways. And he's called the blasphemous Jews, those Jews who are synagogues of Satan, because those are the ones who went and followed Paul and moved to that Greek doctrine, while Revelations 2 is speaking about the isles of, all the different isles of Greece and Asia Minor. Because those are the people who left his original teachings and went out and spread this false doctrine amongst the Greeks, and now have seized the world with this antichrist doctrine that Jesus told us to look out for. They said they're going to even perform signs and wonders. They put all this stuff about laying on of hands and healing people. So he said, be careful, because if you're not, they're going to trick you with that stuff. Because he spoke like this here. When they asked him, what, now you know your Bible well, when they asked Jesus, what is the highest of all the commandments, what did he say?
I think it was to love the Father, I believe.
The Lord thy God is one God, you shall have no other God before him. And then he instituted a new commandment in the upper room, and that new commandment was that you love one another. Those are the 2 points he brought forth. Now, if we have one God, the word one, in every language, always seems to mean the same thing. It's not one of 3 parts, not one in shared position. One means one. And he said, the Lord thy God is one God, and you shall have no other God before him. Paul came along and introduced a Trinity into this thing. He introduced a Greek doctrine, which if you look in the books of the letters again, of John, the apostle, you'll find that in the 5th chapter, the 7th verse, they added a verse in there that's not in the original text, and to justify what's in the 8th verse, where they explain the Trinity as the 3 forms of baptism. And the first form was baptism by fire, which was the blood sacrifice. The next one was by water, which was John the Baptist's. And the third one was by the Holy Spirit, which was Jesus's.
Well, that's good. I mean, I see you know that, and everybody is going to know it. I mean, I know that too. So, I mean, the other documents in there, a whole other.
Then you believe in that?
Know those.
Do you believe in that?
The Trinity?
No, do you believe that that concept of the Trinity as formed by Christians is fake?
I don't believe in that, no.
Oh, good. Now, in terms
Because I know that came into a later copies of the New Testament.
Is that in your Bible, though?
Is it? Yeah, it's in my
So
Bible.
why are you reading that Bible if it has stuff in it you know it's been added? How would you know what's been added and what hasn't?
Well, because I have people that know that,
What
that
people?
see other.
These are gods?
Well, I mean, the same people that I learned that information from and learned the other things that are rendered not in older manuscripts. That's how I know it. So I don't necessarily have to go by another one. But when I look in the book of Acts and I see that word Easter there, I know that Easter wasn't the original word that was put there. So I don't necessarily have to go by another Bible. I know what it is.
Somebody lied to you. The word was there. The word was not Easter. It was Ishtar from Esther. That's another Greek, but it was a name of a person.
I'm just saying the original word that Luke wrote was Passover. So they said Easter.
No, it wasn't the word Passover. Okay.
No, it was Passover.
Okay, don't worry about it. I want you to read to me chapter 10, verse 34.
Of what?
The same of John, the same chapter we're talking about.
Chapter 10, verse 34. Okay. Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your law, I said you are God?"
Now let me stop. Jesus said, "I said you are God." It's not written in the law that you are God. Now, are all men God or not? According to Jesus.
Well, I don't think that he's speaking about all men.
Okay,
Men.
what is he speaking about?
He's talking about the chosen few that God chooses to give him.
Okay, now read the next verse so you'll see. If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scriptures cannot be broken. And who did the word of God come to? According to y'all. According to me, it came to Israel. According to y'all, it came to everybody, right? The word of God came to everybody, right?
Well, at one point, but when Jesus came in his ministry, he came for one specific purpose,
I agree.
was for Israel.
But did the word of God come for everybody, yes or no?
Did the word, when he's speaking of as the scriptures, in the scriptures, and that came for Israel, the nation Israel. That's who it came for.
So the nation of Israel are the only gods then.
Well, not everybody in the nation of Israel is a God.
That's what he said. Don't change Jesus' words now.
Yeah,
he said everyone.
But he can't possibly be talking about everybody because he's not talking.
He's
a man that went out and killed his mother in that time.
That does not make him less than God. Huh? That doesn't make him less than God.
Well,
in fact, to kill a person makes you nearer to God. You merely give life and take life.
So anybody can do that.
So anybody can be God.
So can a dog do that?
Dogs do it. And if they have a soul in them and a spirit activating them, they would also be a part of God's creation and therefore be God. I'm asking you, what is the difference between Jesus saying he's God and me or that brother behind you or that sister behind you saying they're God? According to Jesus, there is no difference.
Well,
let me tell you the reason that so you understand, so be fair.
The resurrection is the whole lifeline of Christianity.
Which resurrection?
The resurrection of him.
Which one?
The one that when he was crucified, beat to death.
So the fact that Jesus came back from the dead, that's a great thing?
Definitely.
Then tell me why we ain't worshiping Lazarus.
Why we ain't worshiping Lazarus? Because
he also came back from the dead.
Because he's showing you the power of himself.
Right.
He's showing you.
And God is showing us the power of himself through Jesus, correct?
Yeah, but see, this is something that happened a long time ago. This was going to happen.
Good. Tell me why we're not worshiping Lazarus. He was resurrected from the dead. And by the way, the prophet Elijah also resurrected a little boy from the dead. Why are we not worshiping these people? Because resurrection is the point.
I mean, Peter resurrected Joppa,
then why are we worshiping
a couple other people.
No,
just to show the strength of God.
I'm coming off what you said. You said it's all about the resurrection. And I'm showing you there was a man named Lazarus who was resurrected from the dead before Christ.
Resurrected by some other man.
Okay,
Jesus said on his own, I'm going to be back 3 days and 3 nights. That's how long I'm going to be there. No less than that. But 3 days, 3 nights, 72 hours. After that, I'll be resurrected. Ain't nobody can do that. No one has done
Lazarus did it. He brought a man back to life.
Lazarus died, and somebody else, Jesus, came and...
Lazarus came back. Remember, he said, I'm sending a double portion of my spirit. Why the people asked John the Baptist, was he Elijah? He did come back. Moses and Elijah appeared to Jesus. They came back on their own.
Moses and Elijah appeared to Jesus. You mean according to what in the Gospel of Matthew?
According to your teachings.
Well, no, but that's just it. I mean, here you got Peter and John. If you think about the concept of this, they see Elijah and Moses. Now, you notice when they asked Jesus, look, can we, first of all, they didn't have no pictures, so I didn't know what Moses and Elijah looked like.
How do you know they didn't have no pictures?
Well, I mean, come on, look at it. He's a fisherman. He's not going to...
How do you know he didn't have any pictures is the question? You just said
the men did not, they didn't run around with pictures
of Moses
and Elijah.
How do you know?
Well, there's no evidence to support that they are. I mean,
yes, there is evidence to support that they are. I'll tell you the evidence that supports that they are. All of the great leaders of Babylon, the Akkadians, the Cuneiform, of ancient Egyptians always drew pictures of their kings.
But they
And the law of not drawing pictures of the Creator didn't come until the books of Leviticus way after. So in Abraham's time and in Noah's time, they did draw pictures of each other, but it wasn't considered a sin until the law of Moses. So they did have pictures. Why do you say they don't? When they have pictures, they ever go against the whole thing. I mean, if they made a picture of Moses, yes. Do you know how these people would idolize this picture of Moses? No, I don't. I know. What I do know, surely wouldn't want that. What I do know is y'all made a picture of Jesus and y'all are idolizing him. No, not y'all. You're talking about the fact that those people who John said crept in from us, not the Christians. You're talking about the many who came to deceive, not the ones who were elect. You're talking about the other ones. You got Christians who observe the Sabbath and they observe the Passover, but you got these other ones who say that I'm a Christian. Are you a follow Judaic law, the Torah law? Yeah, I'm saying you have. That's what the Christians did in the first 400 years. After that. Do you eat pork? No, I don't. Do you mow the corners of your head? Do I mow the corners of my head? Yes. No. Why is your hair cut? Why is my hair cut? Yes. My hair is cut, but I don't get mowing the corners of your head. It means, it tells you in the books not to mow the corners of your head. I'm saying we go by the commandments. Christians go by the commandments, but they don't go by the law because if their son is disobedient according to the law. Let's go to St. John's chapter 1 and see what Jesus says, verse 17, about the law. Well, I know what you're saying, but there are certain laws, like the burnt offerings, every single day of the year in Numbers. Who said so? They did not do burnt offerings every single day. Who said we shouldn't? If Jesus kept all the law, tell me what man went against Jesus' word and changed the law. Jesus said we should follow the law of Moses, right here in St. John chapter 1, verse 17, for the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came from Jesus. He said nothing about change came from Jesus. Why do we change? Why? We changed it because what happened was the fact that when Luke went to the Gentile Peter, when he said that he had a vision from God, he went to a Gentile, and knowing that it was wrong for Jews to go visit Gentiles, he went under the Spirit of God, and he came back because God gave him the Holy Spirit, and he says, hey, look, if God gives this Gentile the Holy Spirit, then who am I to say, well, he has to be circumcised? And that was the whole thing in the council in the 15th chapter of Acts. I mean, who stood up? Listen, could you do me a favor? What's that? Because you keep talking about Peter and Mark and them, and when you go to Acts 13, well, this is when they were in Antioch, and then they went down to Cyprus. This is Paul and Barnabas together. That's right. And first of all, as they ministered to the Lord and fasted. Right. The Holy Spirit, now I don't know, the Holy Spirit told somebody, must have told the congregation to separate Paul and Barnabas, right? So why is it that Paul did not want to go back and confront disciples of Jesus? Now the answer is in 13, but Paul was a worshiper of a man named Bar-Jesus. Bar-Jesus? Yes. That's the man that he blinded for a whole year. Right. So why is he going to worship him and then blind him? You got it perfect. See? You see how they did it? I'm saying the man wasn't a fool like he said in his own life. What does it benefit him to do? What did Paul say in Corinthians about himself? I mean, he said he was I'm the one who persecuted the church. I'm the worst of all the disciples to be blessed. Yeah. So why you ask me the same question about Christianity about a man? Why did Paul do it? Because Paul had the power to do it as a Pharisee. That's how. And when he repented, as you could say, he changed his lifestyle. He worshipped this man here. You better read 13. I've read this. Okay. I've read it. And all what does it say about this man? They say he's a false prophet. And they tell you right there. Well, let's let the people read. Please turn to chapter 13 of Acts, and let's start reading from 5. And when they arrived in Salamis, they preached the word of God in the synagogues. Wait a minute. Where did they preach? This is after Christ. Was there a church established yet? After Christ? Yes. Yeah. Why are they teaching in the synagogues? Because the word church in the Greek language, all it is ecclesia. It was not a building. It was people. It means called out one. It does not. It does not. What does it mean then? The word church means assembly. In Greek. Assembly. To gather together. That's what the word means. Okay, I mean called out ones, called out members. In Greek, the word. No, that's just not. It's not fair. It's not nice to do that. Don't say that. Don't say it means one thing. Don't say it means one thing and it means another. It's wrong to do that. That's what Paul did. It doesn't mean that. Look it up in any Bible dictionary. You see the word church means assemble. To come together. Bible dictionary. I'm just saying for you. No, what I'm talking about, I have the languages. It's different. But I have the Greek lexicons, and I go by what the Greek, what they have in there, and it says that the Greek word for church, in that particular instance where Paul was using it, the original inspired word was ecclesia. You feel honest doing what you just did? And that, you feel honest doing what you just did in that instance where Paul is using it. See how you keep on adding these little things in there that can change the meaning?
Okay, when he says church, he's talking about
what does the word church mean? Not what Paul says. Paul ain't God.
But church in the New Testament, it means ecclesia.
I'll let you have that. Go ahead. Let's go on. We're old friends at this here.
The church was established on the day of Pentecost, when 120 people were baptized. That was when the church was established.
So when Jesus said to Peter, on this rock I build my church, it wasn't established then.
No, it wasn't really established.
What do you mean it wasn't really?
I mean, it was established from the foundation of the world in that sense.
Yeah, Jesus said,
established,
Christ said, on this rock I build my church. So that's when it was established, when Christ said it, not when you said it.
All right, but when Isaiah foretold about it, I mean, it was established long before the
Isaiah was talking about a congregation of Jews. He wasn't talking about no Christians.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, you know,
Emmanuel was Isaiah's son, not Jesus.
Well, he wasn't talking about it. What is he talking about? He says he's in the Spirit in the 62nd chapter of Isaiah.
He's not talking about Jesus. He's talking about his son Emmanuel. The whole prophecy is not even about it. Because if you read the prophecies about Emmanuel and the coming of Christ, as you call it, the Messiah.
I'm not talking about chapter 9 now. I'm talking about chapter 62. I'm saying when he talks about the fact that, well, this is in defense for the name of Christianity in my case. When he says God is talking to him, and he says, you know, I'm going to call my servants by a new name, and the name that I will name them. And now, God's servants were always known as you can call them Israelites, Hebrews, you know, Jews or whatever. But ever since Jesus came, his servants became another name, which is the name of Christianity.
No, it doesn't.
What did they become?
They became known as what Jesus said. What did he say? I leave you in what? Peace. Yeah. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God, as you say. So Jesus, the new name that they were talking about was the name Muslim, one who's of peace, a peacemaker. And Jesus told him the name, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. He actually told them out of his mouth that they'd be called Muslims. And they still, when he came in the upper room to them, when he came into the room after the crucifixion, as they have it, he said, Assalamu alaikum.
I've never known anyone more peaceful than those Christians who humbly died.
So tell me why if you call them peaceful, tell me what's peaceful about cutting a man's ear off?
Huh? Well, okay, I'm talking about after this. This was after the...
After that, they ran and hid in the upper room out of fear with the door shut, they said.
Yeah, but I'm saying there was no more violence. I'm talking about Peter was the same man that cut that man's ear off. In his instructions in 1 Peter, he tells those people to be kind and respect and honor the emperor.
Jesus said
and the emperor at that time was Nero. And you know how crazy he was. So I'm saying he humbled himself a whole lot.
All right.
I won't ask him more. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm sitting down.
Let's go back to 13 and get this point across, because these people got to know about the fake Jesus that Paul worshipped. Let's go to this, because a lot of people don't know that there are two Jesuses in the Bible. There's the real Jesus, the Savior, and then there's a fake Jesus that is the father of Christianity.
Yeah, there's also a Simon the Patriot that a lot of people started worshiping in Rome because he corrupted a lot of things, and a lot of people did start following him.
That's right.
But you know what? Those true Christians, they never followed him because
that's what you say. That's what you say.
Well, I mean, if I lived in that day, I would know because I know now about
you
him.
You live today, and you're still you're holding a book.
I wouldn't follow him.
You hold a book in your hand that you admit has mistakes in it, but you're quoting from.
I haven't admitted it.
You did? Oh, you didn't admit. You didn't tell me that book is not correct when I asked you about the Epistles of John, chapter 7, verse 5, and I said it wasn't in the original text, and you said I agree? You didn't say that. Okay, let's pretend you didn't say that. Let's go on. You ain't getting me away from chapter 13. I know what you're trying to do. You're going to stay on chapter 13, because these souls in there got to notice there's a fake Jesus. That white Jesus on the wall is not the real Jesus. That's the beast in the book of Revelation when they say they'll create an image and give it life and make man worship it. And that's what Jesus refers to as the lying Jew, who said, I know the blasphemers that will call themselves Jews and not. They're synagogues of Satan. So the Christian teachers are now telling everybody, Jesus was a Jew, and on your mother's wall is a picture of a white Jew who's the image of the Antichrist. Now let's go down to this thing here.
I agree with that too.
Now we move on to chapter...
So the whole congregation of Christians that I know and associate with, they know all those facts.
I'm glad to hear that, because there's some children that are waking up. I'm not fighting. I'm glad your congregation is waking up.
I mean, many, the book of Revelation says in the 12th chapter, the whole world is deceived by Satan. And, that is true because the whole world is. But you know what? Yeah. Jesus said his flock was always small.
The Quran tells Muslims that Satan is going to get everybody except the Mukhlisin, except us. So we've been told the same thing.
Yeah, but...
And Jesus said... Jesus told them in the book of John that his congregation is another congregation. Right in the 19th chapter. And his disciples didn't like that he told them it was another congregation. Wait a minute. Back to 13. Get out of here with that stuff. We're back to 13. Now, if we read on, we'll find out that it says, in the books of Acts chapter 13, verse 4. Let me hurry up, get down.
Yeah, he says, so being sent out by the Holy Spirit, they went down to Seleucia, and from there they sailed to Cyprus.
Go ahead.
And when they arrived in Salamis, they preached the word of God in the synagogues of the Jews.
Right.
They also had John as their assistant, John Mark, right?
Right.
Now, when they had gone through the island of Patmos, they found a certain sorcerer, a false prophet, a Jew whose name was Bar-Jesus.
Now stop.
Now,
I want you to stop a minute, because this man has three attributes that Christians jump over very fastly. One of them is he was called a sorcerer.
Right.
The word sorcerer means he performed magic.
Right. Exactly.
All right?
Yeah.
So here's a false prophet who performs magic.
And
He was
also
of the tribe of Judah.
Right.
And his name was in Aramaic, Bar, which means son and Jesus.
Yeah, okay.
Now, isn't it strange that this man has all the attributes? Now, when you jump down to 9 of the same chapter, you know what you're going to find?
What?
Then who?
Then Saul,
Who is?
called Paul, with the Holy Spirit, looked intently at him.
That's right.
Okay, and said, intently, I mean, he looked at him and said, man, what are you doing?
That's okay. That's right. That's nice. I love it. I love the way you do that.
He said,
It's good to see Paul alive again and perverting Jesus.
No, but that's what he said. He looked intently at the man and said, all full of all deceit and all fraud.
That's
so
right.
immediately he picked right up and said, wait a minute. You a fraud, buddy.
Good. Keep going, though.
And you son of the devil.
That's right.
You enemy of all righteousness.
That's right.
Will you not cease perverting the straight ways of the Lord?
Go ahead.
And now indeed the hand of the Lord is upon you, and you shall be blind.
Go ahead.
Not seeing the sun for a time. And immediately a darkness came over his eyes, and what happened? He had somebody to lead him off by the hand. I mean, if Paul's working with this guy, they got some kind of scheme going, boy. I don't know what they're trying to do.
If you read on, you're going to see this scheme.
The proconsul believed after that. After this sorcerer had deceived so many in that land, I mean, even the proconsul at that point said, hey, wait a minute.
That's right. People really thought that this man was God.
Yeah, and you know what?
That's right. But
now, I don't know, did you say that the guy back there that Peter and John rebuked also, who his name was Simon, you know, he had that same, he bewitched people too, and everybody thought
he had that same power
from God too. So, I mean, you know, there were a lot. Way back in Exodus, you know, when Moses came up there to Jannes and Jambres, you know, they were magicians, and their staff turned into a cobra too. So, you know, Satan has his ministers.
Right, you're touching on what I'm saying. Satan performed signs and wonders and miracles, and Jesus told us in Matthew, as you say, 24, how to recognize them and what name they would come under.
He said many. He didn't say all those who come in my name. No, he said all who come in my name, which would be Christians.
You right.
All of them are deceived. But many of those Christians.
You're 100% right. He said many, not all.
That's right.
Many who come. Now, what did he say though? What did he say to what? So how do we know?
How do we know?
Yes.
You know by the fruit on their tree.
Okay.
And you can go to James' letter, and he
says. I just asked you about certain things about the law of Moses, and asked you, did you follow it? And you don't.
Because there are certain things that when Jesus came, he established that was not necessary any longer with the Passover.
Well, show me where Jesus said you no longer have to keep Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and all the Judaic holidays. Show me specifically where it says you should not be circumcised no more. Don't say Paul said it, because I'm not interested in Paul. Show me where it says that you're allowed to cut off your beards, you know, and stop wearing the yarmulke or the kappa or the headpiece. Show me where it says people could go back to eating pork. Show me where it says, I know you said you don't eat pork, right? Don't say it's not what goes in the man that counts, but what comes out of man, because it's not talking about food, it's talking about the truth.